On this 2019 to 2025 Ram 1500DT with the 3.6 PentastarGas engine, P0171 means the PCM is seeing the bank 1 fuel system running lean. In plain language, the PCM may be adding fuel to compensate for air, fuel delivery, sensor, wiring, exhaust, or mechanical conditions. The truck may turn on the MIL, and if it is stop/start, that system can be disabled while the code is active. Treat the oxygen sensor as part of the diagnostic path, but don't start there. This fault is often more likely to come from a mechanical, fuel, or air handling problem than from the sensor itself. The monitor runs continuously with the engine running in closed-loop fuel control, with battery voltage above 11.0 volts, barometric pressure greater than 75 kPa, ambient temperature above -7 degrees C, 20 degrees F, fuel level greater than 12%, and altitude below 2,590. 8M, 8,500 FT. The fuel correction side of the logic is generally greater than 133%, with 100% nominal, and after approximately 30 seconds of fail time, the diagnostic fails. The emissions threshold is described as 1.5 times any of the standards. Start with the basic system checks, then use the scan tool to read codes in all electronic control units. Record the codes and the environmental data, and save a vehicle scan report with the related recorded data. Clear the codes, turn the ignition off for a minimum of 10.0 seconds, then turn the ignition back on. Now reproduce the captured operating conditions that set P0171 and read the codes again. If P0171 does not return, handle it as an intermittent concern instead of forcing the rest of this path. If it does return, continue with the lean diagnostic path. Before chasing P0171 by itself, look at the recorded codes. If there are any active or pending fuel system or air handling faults, deal with those first. That includes concerns around oxygen sensor circuits, MAP sensing, injectors, ignition-related drivability, or other fuel and air controls. If there are no active or pending fuel or air handling faults, move on to the focus checks for this lean condition. Next, check MAP sensor operation. If that test finds a problem, make the appropriate repair and verify the repair before going farther. If MAP operation checks out, check fuel delivery operation the same way. If a fuel delivery problem is found, repair what the test identifies and verify the repair. If fuel delivery checks out, check ethanol content in the gasoline. If the gasoline check finds an issue, correct that issue and verify the repair. If all three areas pass, keep moving down the path. With the ignition off, check the engine for mechanical conditions that can create a lean reading. Look for air induction leaks, vacuum leaks across the engine and vacuum hoses, and possible internal vacuum leakage at the power brake booster while monitoring engine speed and vacuum and pinching the booster hose. If a restricted or plugged injector is suspected, remove the fuel rail with the injectors intact. Energize the fuel pump to maintain fuel pressure in the rail. Actuate the suspect injector or injectors with the scan tool. Inspect the spray pattern and compare it with the other injectors. Also check the purge flow hose and connections between the purge solenoid and intake manifold for leaks or restrictions, and confirm engine compression is within specifications. If any mechanical problem is present, repair it and verify the repair. If not, continue. If the mechanical side checks clean, check the exhaust system for leaks. If that test finds a problem, repair it and verify the repair. If the exhaust system checks out, move to the bank 1 upstream oxygen sensor wiring. Disconnect the upstream oxygen sensor connector and the PCM-C2 connector. Do not probe the PCM harness connectors directly, because that can damage the PCM terminals and create a poor terminal-to-pin connection. If a PCM terminal has to be checked, use the adapter, GPEC Diagnostic 10436, at the appropriate PCM harness connector. Check the upstream oxygen sensor circuits between the sensor connector and PCM-C2 for a short to ground and for an open or high resistance. If wiring trouble is found, repair it and verify the repair. If the wiring checks clean, continue. At this point, if no earlier problem has been found, replace the Bank 1 upstream oxygen sensor and retest. Connect the Bank 1 upstream oxygen sensor and PCM harness connectors, turn the ignition on, clear the codes, and operate the vehicle under the captured conditions that set P0171. If the code does not return, the upstream oxygen sensor repaired the fault, and the next move is repair verification. If P0171 does return, inspect the related harness connections. Disconnect all PCM connectors, any related inline connectors if equipped, and the related component connectors. Inspect connector installation, locks, corrosion, water intrusion, weather seals if equipped, bent terminals, overheated or discolored terminals from poor connection, and terminals pushed back into the connector cavity. Check for spread terminals and verify proper terminal tension. Repair anything found. Reconnect every PCM, inline, and component connector fully. Make sure the locks are engaged, clear the codes, and operate the vehicle under the same monitor conditions. If P0171 does not return, the wiring or poor connection problem has been repaired. If it does return after that connector path, replace and program the PCM, then verify the repair. Keep verification separate from testing. Anytime a fault is found and repaired, clear the codes, operate the vehicle under the conditions that allow the monitor to run, and confirm P0171 stays gone. The big takeaway is to prove the lean condition in order. Confirm the code, handle other fuel or air faults first, check MAP, fuel delivery, fuel quality, mechanical and vacuum causes, exhaust leaks, wiring, then the upstream oxygen sensor and final connector path. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.